Have you ever stood at the edge of a decision for so long that eventually the decision made itself? You keep thinking, keep planning, keep weighing pros and cons, and while you're busy thinking, life quietly moves on. Maybe you've wanted to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you've wanted to speak English confidently. Maybe you've wanted to change jobs. Maybe you've wanted to start a small business. But every time you're about to take that first step, your mind comes up with 100 reasons not to. What if it doesn't work? What if people laugh? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? And honestly, and most of us have had those thoughts because fear doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. Fear means you're stepping into something unfamiliar. And today's story is about a man named Samir, a very ordinary man. The kind of man you probably know, maybe the kind of man you see in the mirror sometimes. Samir lived in Dehradun. He had a stable job in a private company, not a bad job, not a great job either, just okay. The salary paid the bills, the routine was familiar, life was predictable. Every morning looked almost identical. Wake up, get ready, travel to work, come home, watch TV, sleep, repeat. Weeks became months, months became years. And slowly, he started feeling like he was living the same day over and over again. Now, from the outside, everything looked fine. His relatives often said, "You should be grateful, at least you have a stable job." And honestly, they were not wrong. But have you ever noticed something? You can be grateful for what you have and still want something more. Those two things can exist together. Samir wasn't ungrateful, he just felt there was more he could do. For years, he had dreamed about starting a travel YouTube channel. Nothing fancy, just simple videos, road trips, hidden places, local food, stories from different parts of India. Every time he traveled somewhere, he found himself recording little clips on his phone. Not because anyone asked him to do, because he genuinely enjoyed it. His friends often said, "You explain things really well, you should start a channel." And every time he smiled and replied, "One day." Now, let me tell you something. One day is a dangerous phrase because for many people, one day never comes. One day becomes next month becomes next year, and before you know it, 5 years have passed. That was exactly what happened to Samir. 5 years. 5 years of planning, 5 years of watching other people start channels, 5 years of saying, "I'm not ready yet." One evening, he was scrolling through YouTube when he came across a travel creator. The creator had millions of subscribers. People loved his videos. Brands worked with him. He traveled full time. And honestly, Samir felt jealous. Not angry, not bitter, just jealous. Then something interesting happened. He clicked on the creator's oldest video. The video was terrible. The audio was bad. The editing was awkward. The camera shook constantly. Samir actually laughed. That's it. This successful creator had started with videos worse than what Samir was recording on his phone. And suddenly, a thought hit him. This person wasn't successful because he started perfectly. He was successful because he started. That thought followed Samir for days. At work, at dinner, while lying in bed, he couldn't stop thinking about it. Then one Sunday afternoon, he visited his uncle. His uncle owned a small grocery store, nothing huge, just a modest shop he had run for nearly 30 years. While sitting there, Samir asked, "Chachu, were you scared when you started this business?" His uncle burst out laughing. "Scared? I couldn't sleep properly for months." Samir looked surprised. "Then why did you do it?" His uncle smiled. "Because I was more afraid of regret than failure." For a moment, Samir sat quietly. More afraid of regret than failure? That's a powerful thought, isn't it? Most of us fear failure, but very few people think about the pain of regret, the pain of wondering what would have happened if I had tried. That night, Samir couldn't sleep. He kept imagining himself 10 years older, still talking about starting a channel, still making excuses, still waiting for the perfect moment. And honestly, the thought terrified him. The next morning, he made a decision. Not a dramatic decision, not a life changing announcement, just one small decision. He uploaded his first video. That's it. No perfect logo, no perfect editing, no fancy equipment. Just a simple video. And honestly, it was terrible. The lighting was bad, the audio wasn't great, his voice sounded awkward. And do you know how many views it got? 32. 32 views. Not 32,000, 32. Most people would have felt discouraged, but Samir felt strangely happy because for the first time in 5 years, he wasn't planning anymore, he was doing. And that's a completely different feeling. Weeks passed, then months. Some videos got 50 views, some got 100, some got almost nothing. There were moments when he felt like giving up, especially when people made comments like, "You're wasting your time, there is too much competition, everyone wants to become a YouTuber nowadays." And honestly, those comments hurt. Because whenever you try something new, people have opinions. Lots of opinions. But here is what Samir slowly realized: the people giving advice were not the ones taking the risk. They were not the ones staying up late editing videos. They were not the ones trying. They were sitting comfortably on the sidelines. It's easy to criticize when you have nothing at stake. A year later, something unexpected happened. One of his videos went viral. Then another, then another. The channel started growing. Not overnight, not magically, slowly, steadily. And one evening, while reading comments from people who loved his content, Samir remembered something. The fear that had stopped him for 5 years, and honestly, it seemed almost silly now. Because the fear had not disappeared. He had simply learned to move forward with it. And maybe that's the real meaning of today's proverb: fortune favors the brave. Not because brave people are fearless, they're not. Brave people feel fear too. They feel doubt, they feel uncertainty. The difference is they don't let fear make every decision. They take the leap, send the application, start the channel, speak the sentence, launch the business, try the new thing, and life rewards them with something very valuable. Not always success, but growth, experience, confidence, stories, lessons, things that people sitting safely in their comfort zone never get. So tell me honestly, my dear listeners, what is one thing you've been saying one day about? What would you start if fear wasn't standing in the way? And are you more afraid of failure or more afraid of regret? Think about it. Because sometimes the biggest risk is not failing, the biggest risk is never trying at all. And that's why fortune favors the brave.